Now, next is related to unification of Congress. In 1916, the session was at Lucknow. The Congress session was at Lucknow. So, this is significant for the unification of Congress. So the moderates and extremists reunited. I've also told you the assurances which was given by Tilak. I've told you Tilak said he won't go for any mass movement to overthrow British, and all those conditions were actually was there in front of Tilak, and Tilak accepted and satisfied all those conditions. Okay, and the pact is important. Lucknow Pact. This was between Tilak and Jinnah. It is also known as Tilak-Jinnah Pact. Tilak Jinnah Pact. Okay, so now the significance of this pact is, from here onwards, both Congress and Muslim League have decided that they have jointly adopt an anti-imperialist stand. Okay, so Congress and Muslim League decided to adopt anti-imperialist position. See, I've told you after the Muslim League was established, or Muslim League was introduced, then at that time it was they have shown loyalty to English. So they have followed the Sir Syed Ahmad Khan school. Okay, so Sir Syed Ahmad Khan in fact wanted to tell the Britishers that Muslims are equally loyal to English as Hindus, because if you remember, after 1857, the long-term impact of 1857 revolt, I have told you, most of the participants in 1857 were Muslims, and a lot of Maulvis and Maulanas were actively participating, Wahhabis were actively participating, and after that, Muslims were considered as number one enemy for against or by the English, and they have decided the most important positions are never given to the Muslims, neither in jobs, neither in education, nor in education. So the Muslims were lagging behind. So Syed Ahmad Khan wanted to tell the English that Muslims are also equally loyal to you like the Hindus, and Muslim League in the beginning actually adopted a loyalist outlook. And if you remember Shimla deputation, they have given a very formal support to the partition of Bengal to the English. So Britishers were in a position to tell that there is a different opinion apart from Congress at that time. Okay, but now Muslim League is going to adopt a anti-imperialist stand, because they have understood that the long-term interest of Muslims, Britishers should not be here. So you need to overthrow British, and you can see a generational gap also by this time from the establishment of Muslim League to now. And then again they were demanding for Mohammedan Anglo-Oriental School to be made as Aligarh University, but that demand was not accepted. Later in 1921 it became a university. So all these were there in the minds of the Muslims. Now, why Muslims undertook an anti-imperialist stand? If you get questions like that, you need to have some points here. So when they started as a loyalist. They have adopted a loyalist stand. Now they are taking anti-imperialist stand. First thing, in 1911 they called off partition of Bengal. So if you remember, Muslims supported partition of Bengal. They have written a very formal support to the partition of Bengal, and through Shimla deputation. But when the partition of Bengal was called off, they were totally angered and annoyed. Okay, so first one, Muslim League disappointed after partition of Bengal called off. Okay, and secondly, there was a big generational change in the Muslim League, and as per Jinnah's opinion, in the long term interest of the Muslims, Britishers should be overthrown. Okay, so overthrow British, long term interest of Muslims, Jinnah. Okay, and then Mohammedan Anglo-Oriental College. Mohammedan, I have discussed this college already when we discussed about Sir Syed Ahmad Khan in our socio-religious reform movement part 2. Okay, you can go back and you can watch the video. All the videos I have shared in my Telegram channel also. You can join the Telegram channels to get all my videos. Okay, so Mohammedan Anglo-Oriental College not converted to university. That was also a problem at that time. And then ultimately 10 years you have shown loyalty to English, but that has not at all benefited the Muslims in any way. They didn't get better positions in education or in employment. So that was also no advantage because of loyalty that you have shown till now. So now Congress and Muslim League was willing to join hands together, and Congress want to tell that they are actually not against the political aspirations of Muslims. Even in Congress as well as in Muslim League also, even in Congress also there are Muslim leaders like Badruddin Tyabji, Maulana Abdul Kalam Azad, etc. All these Muslim leaders, and they wanted to ensure, or they wanted to assure the Muslims that the Congress is not a Hindu organization and Congress is not at all against the political aspirations of the Muslims. So let me write it down, that point also. Congress was not opposed to the political aspirations of Muslims. Secondly, if we join together, it will actually strengthen the anti-imperialist struggle. To strengthen anti-imperialist struggle. Okay. See, but there was still issue which was going on, that is related to separate electorate. The separate electorate, as I have told you, it was introduced in 1909 Indian Council Act. At the time of introduction of separate electorate, it was actually opposed by the Congress, but now they were actually okay with it since they are joining hands. Okay, so they now recognized separate electorate. Okay, so Hindu Mahasabha criticized all these when Muslims and Congress were joining together. It was actually criticized by Hindu Mahasabha 1915 criticized Congress in entering connection with Muslim League and accepting separate electorate. Okay, so in this context we are actually talking about Lucknow Pact. So let me understand the components in the Lucknow Pact. The first one, Congress recognized Muslim League position in separate electorate. See here, what you need to understand is what Congress recognized is Muslim League's position in separate electorate. They have accepted it because Muslim League needed it. They have accepted it because Muslim League demanded it. Okay, it is not the case that Congress were in support of separate electorate. It was the demand of Muslim League, and it was actually given by the British. Okay, through Indian Council Act. So now what Congress is recognizing or accepting is the Muslim League's demand is what they're accepting, because Muslim League need that, so we are in favor of it. Otherwise they are completely against separate electorate. That has to be very clear. Okay, so Congress recognized Muslim League's position. So if Muslim League say that they don't want separate electorate, Congress will never say they need a separate electorate to be given to Muslims. Okay, so that is one and very much important point that you need to understand. Congress recognized Muslim League's position in separate electorate. So if there is no such demand from Muslim League, Congress prefer only joint electorate. Maybe reservation for Muslims will be given. Okay, second, they will adopt anti-imperialist stand, as I have already told you. Joint anti-imperialist stand. So under this 2-3 points that we need to write: A, significant devolution of power to establish self-governing institutions in India after the war. Okay, after war. Second one, I have told you already, in executive council of Viceroy, Indians should be representatives. Okay, Viceroy's executive council must have Indian representatives. And third one, that was a problem, or that's why Congress were actually angered and annoyed after the Indian Council Act 1909, that elected Indians were not in majority. So here the demand is elected Indians to be in majority in the Legislative Council. So elected Indians to be in majority. And you can see in 1919 Montagu-Chelmsford reform, we will be talking about the same point. Elected Indians will be in majority for the first time in the provinces. Okay, so this is all about Lucknow Pact. So what you need to know is Congress recognized Muslim League position in separate electorate, and they took a joint imperialist stand. So they basically need to increase the elected Indians in the Legislative Council. They need Indians to be representative in Executive Council of Viceroys, and they need significant devolution of power after the war. Now, what is the significance? It brought Congress and Muslim League together. So the joint anti-imperialist stand actually strengthened the anti-imperialist stand. So brought together Congress and Muslim League together, and it actually shows or represented a great effort from Congress side to alleviate the fear of Muslim League, that Congress assured that Congress is not against the political aspirations of the Muslims. Okay, so that too as the advantages. What about the negative impact? Whenever you write any UPSC answer, you should also write the negative impact. Even if the question is not to critically analyze, you should be writing about this. See, it actually represented the unhealthy mix of politics and religion. Represented unhealthy mix of politics and religion, and it also gave encouragement to Muslims to stand on their separate electorate stand. Okay, so when Congress was recognizing the Muslim League's position, so it actually gives strength to Muslim League to continue with that stand. Okay, so this is about the negative impact. So now we will move towards arrival of Gandhi. We will talk about Gandhi in South Africa in one session, and then Gandhi in India, and all the movements and everything we'll cover. So maybe in another 5-6 session, I hope I'll be in a position to cover entire history till 1947.